Ever wondered why your dog chews up your favorite shoes or ignores your commands? I see it all the time. People come to me frustrated saying, "Maggie, I love my dog, but I don't understand them." You give them everything. Food, shelter, love, but something is missing. That's because we often see our dogs through human eyes, not through theirs. We give them affection when what they really need is direction. We give them treats when what they crave is a job to do. It's not about being a perfect owner. It's about being a calm, assertive pack leader. It's about understanding the energy you project and how your dog receives it. When you learn to speak their language, the language of energy and instinct, everything changes. The chewing stops. The listening begins. The bond you share becomes deeper and more fulfilling than you ever imagined. It's a beautiful transformation, and it starts with understanding your role in their world. Today, we're diving into the 10 most common mistakes dog owners make, and how you can fix them, with real-life stories along the way. I want to share these stories with you, not to point fingers, but to show you that you're not alone and that simple changes can create incredible results. We'll look at everything from the food you feed them to the way you walk them, and I'll give you the tools to rebuild that balance in your home. Let's begin this journey together. I remember a beautiful golden retriever named Max. His family called me because he had lost his spark. Once he lived for chasing balls. Now he spent most of his day lying on the couch. When I arrived, the first thing I asked was, "What is his fuel? What are you feeding him?" They said they loved sharing their meals. A little piece of steak from dinner, some leftover pasta from lunch. They thought they were showing love, but they were draining his energy. A dog's body is a high-performance engine. It needs the right kind of fuel. Human food, spices, fats, ingredients dogs can't process. It's like putting diesel in a gasoline car. It clogs the system. For Max, the diet caused digestive upset and inflammation. He was sluggish and unwell. His body worked overtime processing food, leaving no energy for play, no energy for walks, no energy for being a dog. We made a simple change. We transitioned him off table scraps onto high-quality balanced dog food, formulated for his size, his age, and his energy level. It wasn't punishment. It was giving the fuel his body was designed for, respecting his nature as a canine, not a small furry human. Within weeks, the change was incredible. Max met his family at the door again, ball in his mouth, whole body wiggling with excitement, coat shinier, eyes brighter, tail wagging with old enthusiasm. They got their playful dog back and built new trust. It all started with the food bowl. Exercise is not just about physical health. It's about mental stability. A dog with pent-up energy is a dog looking for a project, and you might not like the project they choose. I worked with a family who had Bella, a young border collie. They lived in a lovely apartment, but they were at their wits' end. Bella was destroying furniture, barking incessantly, hurting their small children. When I met Bella, I didn't see a bad dog. I saw a brilliant, high-drive working dog who was unemployed. Border collies are bred to run miles a day, using their minds to solve complex problems. A short walk around the block was like asking a marathon runner to just stretch their legs. All that energy had no outlet, so it came out as destructive, anxious behaviors. Her body and mind were screaming for a job. My prescription was simple: exercise, discipline, and then affection, in that order. We started a new routine. Every morning before work, they went for a long, structured run. This wasn't a casual stroll. It was focused. The owner led. Bella followed. It drained her physical energy so her mind could calm and be receptive. The transformation was almost immediate. After the run, Bella came inside, drank water, and lay down peacefully. The chewing stopped. The frantic barking ceased. She became a calm presence in the home. The family learned to honor her instincts. Providing the right structured exercise didn't just fix behavior. It gave her the balanced life she craved. Consistency is the language of the animal world. It creates trust and understanding. I met a beagle named Charlie whose greeting was to launch himself at every person who walked through the door, paws flailing, sometimes scratching guests, knocking over children. His owners had tried to train him. They would say down or off, but sometimes they would laugh because it was cute, and other times they would get angry. Charlie was completely confused. He didn't know what they wanted. We implemented a new rule: short, consistent training sessions every single day, just 5 minutes, twice a day. We focused on one command: place. Every time the doorbell rang, we calmly led Charlie to his bed and rewarded him for staying there. It wasn't about hours of training. It was about minutes of consistency. He transformed from a chaotic greeter into a polite host who waited patiently for his cue to say hello. Mistake number 4, inconsistent discipline. You know, a pack can only have one leader. When the rules are always changing, the pack becomes unstable and, well, the dog gets anxious. This was the exact situation with the Smith family and their dog, a lab mix. Dad let the dog on the couch, but Mom didn't. The kids would sneak him food under the table, but the parents would scold him for begging. So the dog was living in a world of maybes. Maybe I can get on the couch. Maybe I can get a snack. This uncertainty was making him stressed. My first task wasn't to train the dog, it was to unite the pack leaders. I sat the entire family down and we had a meeting. We established a single, clear set of rules for the house. No dog on the couch, no feeding from the table. Everyone had to be on the same page 100% of the time. This wasn't about being strict, it was about being clear and fair to their dog. Once the humans were united, the dog's behavior changed dramatically. The maybes disappeared, replaced by predictable certainty. Mistake number 5, skipping vet visits. We often think that if our dog looks healthy, they are healthy. Dogs are masters at hiding pain and illness. It's an instinct from their wild ancestors. Routine vet visits are not optional, they're vital. I remember a sweet pit bull named Luna. Her owners adored her but were busy. They assumed active and eating meant healthy. For 2 years, she seemed perfectly fine. Then a vet visit included a standard blood panel. The owners hesitated about the cost. The blood work revealed early-stage kidney disease. There were no outward signs, no loss of appetite, no excessive drinking, no lethargy. Had they waited, the damage would have been worse. Because we caught it early, we had options. Luna was put on a special prescription diet and given medication to support her kidney function. She stayed happy and playful on the outside, but we stopped a silent killer inside. That checkup likely saved her life and gave her more years with family. Prevention is better than cure. Your vet is a crucial member of your pack. Mistake number 6, lack of socialization. Socialization is not just about letting your dog play with other dogs. It's about building a calm, confident mind that can handle new experiences, sounds, people, environments without fear or aggression. A dog that lives in a bubble becomes insecure. The world becomes a scary place, and a scared dog is an unpredictable dog. This was the case with Rocky, a rescue dog who was terrified of everything. His world was his house and his backyard. His new owner meant well. She wanted to protect him from the world that had hurt him before. But in her effort to keep him safe, she was reinforcing his fear. Every time they went for a walk and another dog appeared, she would tense up, pull the leash tight, and cross the street. She was sending him a clear signal with her energy. That is a threat. Be afraid. Rocky, in turn, would bark and lunge, not from aggression but from pure terror. To rehabilitate Rocky, we had to socialize both the dog and the owner. We started small. We went to a park and just sat on a bench, far away from the dog run. I taught his owner to stay calm, to breathe, and to project confident energy. Her job was to be a calm anchor in a sea of new experiences. We didn't force interaction. We just let Rocky observe the world from a safe distance, rewarding him with a calm, good boy whenever he looked at another dog without reacting. Slowly, we moved closer. We arranged controlled meetings with calm, balanced dogs I knew. We took walks in new neighborhoods with different sounds, different smells. Rocky learned from the other dogs, but more importantly, he learned from his owner's new, calm, assertive energy. He saw that she wasn't scared, so he didn't have to be either. Over months, the timid, reactive dog blossomed. He started to show curiosity instead of fear, eventually making a few trusted friends at the dog park. His world opened up because his owner learned to be his guide, not just his protector. We pay so much attention to what goes into our dog's mouth, but we often forget to take care of the mouth itself. A dog's dental health is a window into their overall well-being. Neglecting it doesn't just lead to bad breath, It can lead to serious pain, infection, and even life-threatening diseases affecting the heart, liver, kidneys, as bacteria from the mouth enters the bloodstream. I worked with a family whose Shih Tzu, Daisy, had notoriously stinky breath. They joked about it, buying breath-freshening treats that only masked the problem. But I noticed Daisy was becoming hesitant to eat her dry food and would no longer chew on her favorite toys. She was more irritable than usual. The family thought she was just getting grumpy in her old age. But when I gently tried to look in her mouth, she yelped in pain. The smell wasn't just dog breath. It was the smell of infection. A trip to the vet confirmed advanced periodontal disease. Her gums were inflamed and several of her teeth were loose and rotten. She was in constant, chronic pain. The family was heartbroken. Daisy had to have several teeth extracted under anesthesia. After her dental procedure and recovery, Daisy was a new dog. The grumpy behavior vanished, replaced by a playful, happy energy they hadn't seen in years. She was eating eagerly and chewing on her toys again. The family started a new routine, daily teeth brushing with a dog-specific toothpaste, providing safe dental chews. They learned a hard lesson. Dental care is not a luxury. It's a non-negotiable part of a dog's basic health care, just as important as food, water, and exercise. Mistake number 8, overlooking mental stimulation. We've talked about exercising a dog's body, but you really have to exercise their mind too. A bored dog is a creative dog, and their creativity often leads to destruction. Think about it. Dogs were bred for jobs, herding, hunting, retrieving, guarding. Their brains are wired to solve problems. When we don't give them a problem to solve, they invent one. How do I get the stuffing out of this couch cushion? What does the inside of a leather shoe taste like? This was exactly what was happening with Toby, a young Labrador. His owner was super diligent about exercise. They went for long walks every single day. But as soon as they got home, Toby would find something to chew. I don't get it. He's tired, so why is he still so destructive? His body was tired, but his brain was wide awake and bored. A walk on a leash, especially the same route every day, doesn't challenge a Labrador's intelligent mind. He needed a job, so we introduced mental stimulation into his daily routine. Instead of just putting his food in a bowl, we started feeding him exclusively through puzzle toys and slow feeder bowls. He now had to work for his meal, using his nose and his brain to figure out how to get the kibble out. This simple change engaged his mind for 15 to 20 minutes, which is, honestly, surprisingly tiring for a dog. We also added scent work games, hiding treats around the house and encouraging him to find it. We practiced new commands and tricks for just a few minutes each day. These activities gave his brain the workout it was craving. The chewing stopped almost overnight. Toby was no longer a destructive dog. He was a fulfilled dog. He had a job to do, and a fulfilled dog is a calm dog. Remember, a tired dog is good, but a tired and mentally fulfilled dog is even better. Mistake number 9, using punishment instead of positive reinforcement. Your relationship with your dog should be built on trust, not fear. When a dog makes a mistake, our human instinct can be to punish, to yell, to swat, to use intimidation. But this doesn't teach the dog what to do instead. It only teaches them that you are unpredictable and scary. A dog that is afraid of you cannot learn from you. They shut down. Sadie was a perfect example of this. She was a timid German Shepherd mix whose owner had a very old-school, dominance-based approach. If Sadie pulled on the leash, he would yank the collar hard. If she barked, he would yell "No!" in her face. As a result, Sadie was a nervous wreck. She walked with her head down and her tail tucked. She would flinch whenever her owner moved too quickly. There was no joy in their relationship, only anxiety. My job was to rebuild the bridge of trust between them. We took away all the punishment. No more yelling, no more yanking. We replaced it with positive reinforcement. When we practiced walking, the moment the leash went slack, even for a second, she would get a click from a clicker and a high-value treat. We were marking and rewarding the behavior we wanted to see. It was a slow process. At first, Sadie was too scared to even take the treats. But her owner learned to be patient, to use a soft voice, and to reward every small step in the right direction. She blossomed because she was finally being taught with guidance and kindness, not with fear and intimidation. Mistake number 10, not adapting care as dogs age. The dog you bring home as a puppy is not the same at 7 years old or at 12. As our dogs enter their senior years, their needs change dramatically. Their energy levels decrease, their senses may dull, and their bodies can become sore. I met Buddy, a wonderful 12-year-old shepherd mix. His owner was worried because Buddy had lost his spark. He no longer wanted to go on their usual 3-mile hikes and seemed stiff and sore afterward. He was also leaving food in his bowl, something he had never done before. The owner thought Buddy was just giving up, but the reality was that Buddy's body was simply telling him it couldn't keep up with the old routine anymore. We need to listen to what our senior dogs are telling us through their behavior. He wasn't giving up. He was asking for help. We made some simple but powerful adjustments. We swapped the long, strenuous hikes for shorter, more frequent walks on softer surfaces like grass. We switched him to a high-quality senior dog food, which is formulated with different nutrient profiles to support joint health and digestion. We also added a comfortable orthopedic dog bed to his favorite sleeping spot. The change was remarkable. Buddy's spark returned. He wasn't a young dog anymore, but by respecting his age, his owner ensured his golden years were comfortable, happy, and full of love. We've covered a lot today, from the food in their bowl to the energy you project on a walk. But the common thread through all these stories, Max, Bella, Charlie, and all the others, is understanding. It's about seeing the world from your dog's perspective and fulfilling their needs as a canine, not just as a pet. These mistakes are common, not because people are bad owners, but because we love our dogs so much that we sometimes forget they speak a different language. Becoming a true pack leader isn't about dominance. It's about guidance, trust, and providing a stable, predictable world for your dog to thrive in. It's a journey, not a destination. There will be good days and challenging days. The key is to remain calm, be consistent, and always strive to understand the why behind your dog's behavior. When you do that, you're not just fixing problems. You're building an unbreakable bond based on mutual respect and communication. Your dog is a unique individual with their own history and personality. What worked for Buddy might need to be adjusted for your senior dog. The journey you take is yours alone. Remember, every dog is unique. Share your own stories in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips to keep your furry friend happy and healthy. I want to hear about your challenges and your successes. Let's learn from each other and build a better world for our dogs together.